Hi, and welcome to Network Spotlight. I am Mikhail. On today's show, I will be interviewing Koby of Eucalyptus Labs. Koby has been in the crypto space for over 6 years. He managed a team at Coinomi and then decided to create his own firm with a team that has a lot of experience in self custody applications. Today, they are working on a lot of tools on Kadena, one of them being the Koala Wallet. We discussed how Koby came across the Kadena founders. What are some of the things you can do to safeguard your crypto and some of the benefits of developing on Kadena? Please support the channel by liking and subscribing to it. Follow me on Twitter and enjoy the show. What's going on, Koby? How are you?
Good. I'm good, Mikhail. Thanks for making time to talk today.
Yeah, likewise. I see you repping the shirt. I like that.
We do.
The
We have the
eucalypt.
eucalyptus swag on. We sent out boxes. You know, a startup isn't a startup until you spend a good amount of money on swag. So we got that set up day one or day two, but we've been in stealth mode for a few months now. So finally, the shirts can come out.
Nice. Well, I definitely want to learn a little bit about what that swag is. But before we get to that, tell me what exactly is Eucalyptus Labs?
Yes, so Eucalyptus Labs is the end result of working about 6 years in this crazy changing field of crypto and taking a lot of what I learned with a really experienced team in this narrow industry and kind of channeling it into a company that has software development technology pardon, that has software developers ready to develop different applications, that has in-house marketing team, community team, self-generative content. So really bringing a lot of what we found that was helpful when we were working on a lot of layer one technologies back in 2018-19, and bringing them all under one house at Eucalyptus Labs and working with some really great partners to build them some cool stuff.
So, what were you working on before you founded Eucalyptus Labs?
Sure. So my crypto work journey begins in 2017 when I joined the Coinomi team. So I was working to develop this multi-chain wallet application where you can store your Bitcoin next to your Dogecoin, next to your Redcoin, what have you, all the way up to I think maybe about 50 chains at the time. And my main job was connecting with Hedera or Solana or all these new emerging coins who are, way down in the market caps when we were getting started and bringing them both into the wallet and also working on a bunch of tools for them, whether it be for the developers, their users in that wallet ecosystem. And eventually in 2021, I was leading the entire team there as managing director. And that's when we decided to come to the US and work on something a bit different from what we learned from that experience. So I'm with this team with a bunch of names you'd find back at Coinomi Wallet. But we're really excited to be building under our own house now and take direction of what we work on.
How has all the experience that you've had with Koinami like translated into what you're building out now at Eucalyptus Labs?
Yeah, so I kind of grew up with crypto. You can see there's not too many wrinkle lines here yet from the 24/7 market. But growing up with crypto and having a lot of trends coming into the market that we saw, like ICOs, DeFi, NFTs, all these different market waves, they kind of trained us not only to be super agile and be ready to develop and have the marketing tactics in place to jump on the next trend, but also we were usually working for a bunch of these layer one chains or organizations who said, we want this done this way or that done that way. So we got really good at working with industry partners from a development and also a business side of how we can bridge the gap between a really big user base that we had and these companies looking to dive into crypto. So we were answering kind of monumental questions as just a wallet of like how does the user get this coin or this token? How do they learn how to use it and actually benefit from having it? And also how do they safely keep it and store it for themselves? So these really big promises of crypto are out there, and they definitely, Bitcoin fulfills it. You take your own key, you take your own holdings, but there's a lot of hand holding and walking the users through that new experience in crypto. And that's what we really built up of bridging the gap between the technology and the user.
Amazing. So, Kobe, can you walk me through how you determine what products you're going to focus on in terms of your development?
Sure. So coming from working on such a big multi-coin wallet, we knew that we wanted to leverage a lot of our experience in self-custody applications where it's the user's responsibility to store their own key. It's the user's responsibility to keep up and make sure their funds are safe. So we took all of the information we had of how do you help users take control of their own funds. And we said, let's definitely start with some kind of asset management tool in one very specific community. And then let's see what are the ways we can bring further services into that tool of holding your own financial assets or your NFTs or what have you. How can we bring different services to help users not only manage and better control their assets and their holdings, but how to take advantage and really get those Web3 banking programs right at the tip of their fingers, get all the different promises again of crypto and really make it a seamless effort on the user's behalf, just like if you were logging into your Chase app.
So can you touch on any specific type of products that you're building out right now? Any names, anything that you can give us
Yes,
a
definitely.
teaser on?
So right now, today, we just opened the group, the first and second group for the beta of Koala Wallet. So Koala Wallet, your marsupial animal, your cute cuddly friend, that's going to help you store your assets when it comes to the chain Kadena. So back in 2018, I was at this crazy convention in the city or conference called Consensus, where I met these guys from JP Morgan working on a protocol that had pretty crazy promises, 480 transactions per second, or 480,000 transactions per second, a crazy braided chain architecture. And as soon as I sat down at a bar with Will Martino, one of the co-founders, I said, this is crazy. I'm going to send it to some mathematicians who know better than I do. And they responded that, yes, in fact, graph theory is definitely real and could solve a lot of the issues with Bitcoin and with cryptocurrency overall in these layer one technologies. So I met the Kadena team way back, and they really interested me to build on their developing ecosystem, which they've recently supercharged with $100 million of available funding to projects and to different people on the space and on the chain. So we said, let's make a really good self-custody application for Kadena, and then let's use all the different benefits of that chain to increase the user's experience of adoption and utility for their assets right in their wallet.
Interesting. So one of your best relationships started at a bar, ironically,
Yeah,
right?
so I'll tell you the truth. Not only was it at a bar after a conference, I was too young at the time to even order a drink. So I think when I sat down in Carroll Gardens, I maybe got a Sprite and Coke. I don't think they'd care back then. Didn't have a fake, but thankfully now I can go to my business ventures post pandemic and sit in a bar with some kind of drink, a bit more interesting. But yeah, so I sat down. I talked to Will. It was maybe a 20 or 30-minute meet, and I remember the train ride home afterwards, just thinking, all right, if they're starting to contend with the big boy Ethereum, right, and if they're starting to challenge these guys, there's going to be more to come out of the woodwork. And we've seen that recently with how many people are developing incredible, promising layer ones for different developers to build on. The differentiating factor for Kadena and our team was, first off, they've been building since 2016. Some people might say they've been extremely slow. We would say they've been extremely cautious and well prepared for, again, a market driven by crazy trends, crazy cycles, and a lot of speculation. So we found that our developer mindset of taking a research, more laid back approach of finding the best solutions, even if it took some more time and money, we were really aligned back then, and we are still now. And there's countless reasons why we've been really excited to be in this ecosystem and to get the word out about Kadena, about Koala Wallet, and everything else that we're building.
So let's jump into it a little bit more. Tell me, Koala Wallet, how is it different from other wallets that a lot of people may be familiar with, the MetaMasks of the world or the Phantom wallets of the
Sure.
world?
Yeah, so I love Phantom Wallet. I love MetaMask for Ethereum and Solana, respectively. I remember when Phantom Wallet had their first mobile or web extension, and just looking at it from a consumer level, I said, this is really excellent for someone who's been in crypto for a while, who understands how to make an account, how to fund it with some tokens, and get NFTs in their wallet. But there was so much lacking after I had spent close to almost half a decade working on how does a user not only take care of Solana, but how do they make sense of 50 chains and a million different applications in front of their face? So if we are to believe that multi-chain is the way, that people are going to be able to make transactions and kind of obfuscate all the craziness and different difficulties of crypto, then we said there's so much you can improve about existing wallets already. for both the user and for applications that are out there existing. So, a few of these really early steps, we're just looking at things such as the onboarding process of other wallets, where the pain points are for users. And we think we've done a really good job of making it seamless to get started with an account, but also make sure you're very well protected down the line. In terms of running a company that's specialized on crypto wallets, a lot of people think you make the tech, you send it out there, and then you have some app store reviews. But coming from such a developed wallet background, we've definitely seen the different falling points since about 75% of wallets that were around 2016, 17 when I got started are completely deprecated now. They're no longer around for a few different reasons. So we decided not to attach our wallet to a token, not to attach it to an NFT collection, not to do any spoilers or betas until we were really almost close to releasing. And I think that the most compelling part of Koala Wallet is that you've got your basic features you'll find in any wallet, right? You've got your portfolio section. And in the middle, you have a different tool where you can manage your investments and trade and buy with fiat, all these things. The third portion of Koala that we're building most rapidly right now is the ecosystem page. So Kadena ecosystem, where we're building a lot of really beautiful and native app integrations with different lending platforms, with different dexes, bridges, NFTs, and other applications such as in gaming. And through this third panel of the ecosystem, that's where we really plan on separating ourselves from a typical wallet, where you're just receiving, and storing, and really allowing users to have a multi-tool, just like if they're using WeChat or other conclusive platforms to manage their day-to-day lives of texting and calling. This is where we see their financials going. This is where we see their asset control, that one day they won't be opening their Fidelity account, that they'll just be going right to their wallet where they themselves are in charge of their own finances and can control it really seamlessly in one place. So unfettered access to a bunch of different applications around, Web3, a lot of buzzwords, but we're actually doing it in Koala Wallet. And we've actually started already with a few partners right inside.
How far along are you in the process?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, we just started our beta today of sending those links out. We had over 800 signups without a marketing push. So we were super thrilled to see that people are still, even in this market, really anxiously awaiting updates and getting their hands on new tech, on alpha. In terms of send, receive, store, that was the easy game for us with our experience and knowing what we know. We took a while to make the wallet because we started totally from scratch, so that would be modular and agile for the future, which is really the name of the game, like I mentioned. And in terms of a release, we should have a product out there to download in just a week or two. The development lords be giving, but we should be releasing in just about 1, 2, 3 weeks for a full push of Koala Wallet to every device.
So, how challenging was it for you to find developers that can code in Pact?
So, Kadena is built instead of, like you just mentioned, Ethereum has Solidity, Kadena has Pact. And Pact is a really conclusive smart language, smart contract language for developers, which we didn't really have to interface too much with initially in our wallet. So we're doing a lot in behind the scenes, building our own indexing services, building our own management services for getting an alert when you have a deposit or when you're sending someone out of your wallet and when that confirms. But we didn't do a lot of Pact work directly or just yet. Now we're at the stage where just a month or two ago, we started posting who wants to start getting their hands on Pact, who wants to either take their existing skills and bring them to the wallet, or build their skills up through research and help us later down the road. So it wasn't difficulty developing in Pact, but what's always really difficult is having a team of 7 or 8 people who have been working together in crypto wallets for a really long time, and then either adding to that team and also finding candidates who have an understanding of the user experience when they're interacting with crypto overall. It's not your typical transaction of going and getting groceries. You could liken it to if you were going to get groceries and on your way there, you were like walked up by 23 different scammers or people trying to steal your wallet. So it's a really aggressive environment. Even just in terms of development, you got to make sure everyone's using their UB keys and keeping best protocols in house. So the entire development process is really informed by the strategic goal of user security and also alignment in house of how you can find those really great candidate fits.
Most foundations, they provide some type of guideline for many projects in terms of the development, especially the ones that are a little bit more established. When you're coming on and you're one of the newer guys, you tend to be more like a guinea pig, so to speak. But it's from what I understand, it's also an exciting time because you can kind of create your own destiny, so to speak. What's it like for you? Any challenges that come along with being one of the first people to be building, alongside Kadena?
Yeah, I think we've benefited so much from the great opportunity initially that we were one of the first to say, hey, we're building a company that's going to focus really strongly on your ecosystem and providing tools that the community has been looking for a while. So getting in there early and stating the interest and commitment to Kadena has really propelled a great partnership with them going forward. Challenges have been on two sides, right? On one end, we want to take Kadena's resources and get their ear and like ask them a bunch of questions. But we also want to let them go and develop and work on what they need to. And on the other hand, we want to tell the community everything we're doing and show them exactly the next roadmap plan. But we don't want to do it in the typical sense of keeping them on the line forever. So it's been a really interesting and unique challenge of company communication and operations with such a dynamic community and such a great dedicated team at Kadena that has their roadmap and their goals that are now finding the best fit with ours.
I'm happy to hear that you're having a really good relationship with Kadena and they're being very supportive and helping you with your development. And I feel like based on your ambitions and your intellect, I have no doubt that you do a good job of building that out. I want to change topics just a little bit. Tell me from like a security standpoint. That's obviously my bread and butter is where I spend majority of my time. What are some of the things that you guys are keeping in mind when creating Koala Wallet or really any type of solution that you're building at Eucalyptus Labs?
I'll say it again that whenever you're building even just a lock that you're going to send someone out with a key, it's all about user information and education. So, how do you take someone who might not know crypto or has a great understanding of crypto and holds it in their Binance account? How do you let them know, hey, in the past 10 years that you haven't known crypto, this hack has happened, and explaining to them that it's not just like when you have your money in some kind of bank account that's insured in different ways. It's a totally different environment. So user education is definitely a challenge there, but specifically developing a product that's going to be, we hope, rigorously tested not only by the auditors that we'll be employing to check out the wallet, um, but by so many different community members and application developers. It's all about working directly with the community developers, with the other applications in the space, and at times when necessary and when beneficial, reaching out to Ledger, reaching out to other wallets in the space, working on standards together, implementing things like Wallet Connect that ensure a direct connection from a user's device directly to an application. So it's really a community approach when you're developing in this environment versus a traditional software company out there. We're in conversations every day with our partners, whether it be people just trying out the app for the first time, like family members who are just getting into crypto, or the experts who have been doing this for 7 or 8 years when they were still using their Bitcoin wallet on their desktop mining ASICally. So it's always an education process and a collaborative endeavor with your partners.
So it sounds like you guys along with other wallets, it's more of a collaborative approach versus like, hey, we are competitors and then we're both trying to fight for users.
I think so. I had a really great call with Nicholas from X Wallet, who also built a really fantastic Kadena wallet. They started out by building a DEX, which has been phenomenally received by the community. And part of our work to ensure that we have a good connection with X Wallet and their DEX that they've developed called CADEX is, like I mentioned, making sure that users can connect directly to them. So even though we're getting to these overlapping parts of the ecosystem where, all right, you might be working on the same thing we're working on, the eventual common goal for the next 2 to 3, 4, 5 years of crypto projects, I hope overall, are how do we make this easier for the user, first of all? We've seen a lot of long roadmap planning and funding for different crypto companies because I think investors understand this. And I think that that's the mindset we've glued ourselves to, that this is a long-term endeavor of first saying, how do we build up and support a wealth of community, a wealth of people who are ready to experience what crypto can bring to their phones, to their mobile wallets, and then what it can add to their finances or their lives overall. So it's all about working on the user end experience with partners and making sure that the user is the first person in mind.
That's one of the things that I really love about Web3 is just this collaborative approach, and there's really no ego, and we're all on the same page here. We're all working together to try to increase adoption and make this the way of the future. So very interesting to hear. So
Yeah, I
let's
think.
go
Oh,
ahead.
I was just going to say that something that always excites me is when we look from space at like the Great Wall of China and we say, how did so many people work to build something so monumental and outstanding for so long? And then you look at the GitHub for Bitcoin or for Ethereum or even Kadena, and you see how many individuals have commit through every single minute of every single hour from around the world, let alone we don't know where Satoshi's from, right? We're figuring out with time zone math. But I think that we'll look back even in a few more years and say, wow, there was so much collaboration in really a new, unfound way. I think you might also experience this, that a lot of people in crypto have been working remote and been working from around the world as digital nomads for a really long time. So when that happened with the big shift from the pandemic, a lot of my team was prepared. A lot of our partners and colleagues had been doing that for a while. And I think that's just another way that crypto has consistently been pushing forward innovation. And it is one of the new sources online and in life and business and industry of where you can see a lot of ambitious development and trying new things out. So check the GitHub out, check those commits. It's crazy. You can scroll through for a year. So much collaboration in Web3.
Yeah, and I do agree that the pandemic accelerated everything that's happening in this digital revolution. Let's stick on the security topic. So there's different ways that projects can make sure that their users are secure, right? There's smart contract auditing. There's certainly penetration testing that would take care of the Web3 component and the Web2 component. There's certain functionality within a wallet to help secure the users. And you also mentioned something interesting. It's the education. What are some of the tips that you can give to users? Just some really common tips that they can take today and say, okay, I can apply this to myself and ensure that I'm protected.
If it's not your keys, it's not your coins. So what does that mean? When you go and you have your account on Binance, on Gemini, on Coinbase, they're holding your funds, whether it be in USDT, of a Tether coin, or your Bitcoin. They're holding it in maybe a hot wallet or a cold wallet. But just because it says it's your account balance doesn't mean it is. So with Bitcoin or any of these cryptocurrencies, you can generate your own wallet, which means that you have custody and you have control of your assets. So unless if you've generated those keys and you know exactly the security behind your wallet, not your keys, not your coins, never assume security in this world. Um, Separate from that, once you do have your keys and once they are your coins, the only thing that can compromise your account from there on out is either some crazy quantum computing down the road, or it's just telling someone your keys, right? So in my experience, we used to provide a live chat support feature for one of the companies I used to work with, and they would be flooded daily by different users from around the world in every language you could think of saying, hey, I had my wallet, it got drained because I did something wrong or your service screwed me over. And of course, once we started to peel back the layers, it would usually be someone asked me for my recovery code, someone asked me for my account details. So you really, in this day and age, have to be vigilant protecting your information, and that accounts double when you're in crypto.
Kobe, what is the importance of owning your own crypto?
Yeah, self-ownership in crypto is massive. It's one of the promises of the original 2008 white paper. And it's really behind a lot of the ethos of crypto overall. When you're using an exchange or a third party service where your keys aren't your coins and you are not in possession of your mnemonic with your funds in your personal wallet, if that service has a hack and their funds are compromised, if that service is sued and is paying out a big legal settlement, if anything under the sun happens to that service or exchange, even though you had your coins, they're not yours. So that account is somewhere else in the world on the cloud, and they can either liquidate your funds, they can use them in different ways. So the only way to be sure of really having custody and control of your funds is by keeping your keys, your coins in a safe wallet environment that you trust. So additionally, it's really important to remember that if you are using a wallet like Koala Wallet or like some of these ones that we see, they're completely non-custodial, there should always be a way that if that wallet ever deleted the app from the App Store, no problem. All you do is go in the safe, find your recovery code, enter it on any amount of other wallets or tools online that help you do this, and you can again recover your account. Now, here's a good point to mention though. When you're looking at services where you're about to enter your recovery code, you just have to have the knowledge preemptively that this 12 or 24 word code is everything to me. So if I'm going to use it on a service, I better trust and verify that service endlessly and fully understand what this service is going to do with my key.
And definitely write down those seed phrases, right?
Gotta have them written down, not copy and pasted, nothing like that. I'll tell you something else. In in Google and all these big companies, they're always focused on the attack vector of the social vector. Or pardon, they're just always focused on social vector attacks, because the truth is the most common hack you're going to have is when your janitor puts a USB stick he thought was yours back into the computer, or you leave your sticky note out with your password written down. So it goes from those examples to the much more malicious ones, such as when you use a third-party keyboard on your phone, and suddenly you're not just copying and writing your recovery code down anymore. You're sending it, or a company is selling it as third-party information to track you, or to sell you something, or to take your funds. So that's why we've implemented into Koala Wallet, for example, an on-screen randomized password entry, so that at any point you can randomly type in a different code or your recovery phrase. And we've taken a lot of these steps before even introducing the product to people, to make sure that users can and have the tools to best protect themselves in the recovery codes.
Amazing. Koby, where is Koala Wallet in a year?
Koala Wallet in a year is what you open every single day to get the latest price information on your assets worth millions. It's what you open when you decide, actually, I think the market's going to go one way or another. I'm going to move some money around without any trading fees and actually get rewarded for making an informed trade. And lastly, Koala Wallet is where you're going to go when you're signing onto your computer and you're about to use an application to manage some funds you're microloaning out in Africa. You're going to go and click and connect right away securely, I should definitely add, to interact with a whole litany of Web3 development tools and products out there that I hope in a year will be as easy to use as Gmail. And I think that if we have the right tools and application environment, then we'll be able to really promote that.
Where can people follow along on your journey?
People can follow at Koala Wallet on Twitter. They can follow at Euclabs, EUCLABS, or they can follow me on Twitter at Koby Lazar, KOBY LAZAR.
Perfect. I'll make sure to include the links. Any parting thoughts?
I just have to say again that security and wallets, I mean, they go hand in hand. I think that you're going to have so much fun talking to different projects who are working on these radical new ideas for how users can manage their lives with crypto and with Web3. But then they'll also be brought back to these single, really hard challenges of just how do you keep that user informed, engaged, and safe in the wild, wild west of crypto. So I think that we're going to face a lot of these new and old questions together. And I'm just really excited to be collaborating with so many awesome minds, such as my co-founders, Tim, Angelos, and Michelle, to really work on what we've always wanted to bring to people, which is financial access, financial freedom, and true unlimited access to their own assets.
Excited to see where you guys go, for sure. Koby, appreciate the time.
Thank you so much, Mikhail. Pleasure being here.
Cheers.